What is the theme of this era for you?
Ooh, I think for me, and I'm not saying that I was one that would, sit on my dreams or wait for something. I think that there are a lot of gifts inside of me that I believe I have that I'm actually starting to live out loud now. So it's the go for it era. I'll say that. And I'm just all the things that I might have been scared to do, or I felt like, oh, it's gonna be too much of this, or that's so outside of the box. Nope. Life is too short. We're going for it.
So what is something that is noticeably different for you in life that you had an idea or a concept for in your 20s and 30s that's different now?
I will say, even like the show, even like the Ken show, I have always been a very private person, so doing a show that would showcase my lifestyle outside of, what you would see on TV with me doing an acting job or a performance. Oh my gosh, what in my 20s, I would have been like, I would never in a million years, especially showing my kids and talking about some of the things I go through as a mom. Or just sharing my personal life, never. But I feel like even with that, I'm in a safe space because of the people that I work with, and I'm hands-on with this project. So that is definitely something that I would have been like, absolutely not in my 20s. But I'm open to it. I'm open to it now, obviously. Even with doing, being an influencer or the face of Cliche. Like, we all know that that's a very personal product, if you will. And I would have been like, oh my God, no, I don't want everybody to know what I use, for baby sis or nothing like that. But it has, I think I've opened my mind to different things, and I'm open to just trying new things. And it's served me well so far.
So in stepping and trying new things, how did the relationship between yourself and Cliche come together?
I was actually looking for a product because, after you have a kid, things change with your body, your pH level, all the balances are unbalanced. And so I was looking for a natural product because you don't find, even if you go to some of these stores who say they sell organic product this and all natural that, you never know what's really in it. So on my quest to find a product that I knew, wouldn't irritate, that was for real, all natural, I met two of the creators, the two ladies that created Cliche. And first of all, knowing that one of them is an OBG, and I was fresh off of having a baby, I was like, oh, she's going to know exactly what I need. Right. And so I don't want to say killing two birds with a stone, but I was getting the product that I felt I'd been looking for, but also now I could influence others to, use a product that would be good for them. And that was all natural. And they wouldn't have to worry about, it's unscented. It's all these different things that I was looking for. And I know that there are other women and men that are looking for, a similar product. So, yeah.
So staying on the new things tip. So on your show, you said you're opening up with your family. On one of the recent episodes, you made the decision to talk to an ex. I want to know what made you pick that particular ex, and what was the decision-making process like to say that this is one of the episodes that I want to focus on where we have this conversation on camera?
So I work out, we work out at, I don't want to say where it is, but we work out
somewhere
here in the city of Houston, and I see him often, right? And we didn't, I lived in LA, I moved to Dallas, got married, then the whole thing. So we weren't having run-ins at all. But we started having a lot of run-ins when we would go and work out at this particular place. And so we found ourselves, doing a lot of walking and talking while working out. And I'm like, you know what? I think a lot of people need to see that you can have an ex and still have some type of friendship. And actually the conversations that we were having during these walk and talks, I mean, you could tell that we're both grown so much. It was probably the best time to have the conversations because, you know, the emotions weren't there, the anger wasn't there. It had been, I mean, so much time had passed. And I was like, I feel like people need to see this because I think there's something to say about loving someone deeply, genuinely, and then because something doesn't work out the way you might have wanted it to, then we erase that person, you know, from existence and they can no longer be a part of our experience. And sometimes we have to do that in order to move on. But I feel like time heals. And I feel like, you know, if the genuine love and the friendship, like with us, is still there, then yes, you can build a different type of friendship with this person. It doesn't have to turn into a love, sex relationship with them again, but it can be the thing that you saw with that person, as far as that friendship that you saw with that person before, maybe turning it into a love relationship. You can have that back. You know what I mean? Just on different terms.
Mm-hmm.
So I think, you know, that was one of the main reasons why I decided to make that an episode, and that we can have a mature conversation about our differences or what we thought went wrong and right, and what the things that we liked about each other that got us to this point. I was like, I think people need to see this. So that's why it was probably one of my favorite episodes and the first episode.
Absolutely. So in opening up and experiencing new things with your family in this show, you also have a new series coming up here in August with Raising Kanan. So what was that like, joining that cast, being a part of that show, stepping back into the 90s and everything, with what you can share?
Oh my gosh. First of all, I would get anxiety. Don't tell them, please. Sasha Penn, I love you. I would get anxiety watching the show once I knew I was going to be a part of it. Like I watched it as a fan, but then actually watching it and seeing where I would fit into the story, I would get anxiety because I'm like, hey, yo, these are some amazing actors. This story is crazy. I'm about to be a part of this. Can I do this? You know what I mean? Yeah. And it was so different than, because, you know, it's a time period piece as well. And also, it's shot in New York. I'm a Texan. Where the accent gonna go? You know what I'm saying? So it was so much that I put into doing that role. But it was one that definitely tugged on my heartstrings, and it stretched me as an actress. And I so appreciate the experience, especially in the timing in which that role became available. Well, it presented itself to me. It was nothing but God's timing, and I needed something. I needed a role like this. So yeah, I'm so excited for everybody to see it. I haven't seen it outside of like doing ADR, but everybody's like, "Yo, you gotta see yourself. It's crazy. I'm so proud of you." I'm like, really? Oh my God! So when you guys see it is when I'll see it.
I'm excited. I can't wait to check you out in that. So being that you're a mother now, you have two beautiful children, and you're in this new phase of your life with all these different things, how does that impact what you do for work and how you select your projects or things that you're involved with?
Oh, that's such a great question. I battle with, man, okay, so my cousin reads a lot of the scripts with me and actually is the voice behind the camera on some of my auditions. I'm looking at her right now. And I was just arguing with her the other day because there was a really great opportunity, and it was an audition. It wasn't like it was a an offered role. It was an audition, and it was going to be filming somewhere far. And I was like, I never would think about this before, you know, being, you know, when I was by myself and didn't have two children. But before I even did the audition, I was like, this is too far. I don't want to be away from my babies this long. Like, maybe God will give me something else that's closer. And it really, I had to make a hard decision. I did. And I'm like, I think with them being so young too, I don't like to be away from them. As you can see on episode 2, like I really do suffer from mom guilt. It's a real thing. And I did have to do a project recently where I was away from them for too long in my book. And I felt you couldn't tell in my performance, nobody would ever know, but I spent most of my time FaceTiming the kids.
Yeah.
What? You know what I mean? Like making sure that they were okay, like counting down the days so I got back to them instead of really like, but I'm so much better at it now. I'm learning how to balance. Everybody has literally talked me down from the tree, like, girl, it's like sending them to daycare. You're perfectly fine. You're not gonna be there to change every diaper, sweets. It's okay. It's really okay. And they'll be okay. Like, didn't your mama have to go to work while you went to school?
Right.
You're okay. Sure. So I'm okay.